2, 1. If the airport attack was in fact planned by ISIS, it would be a major turning point for Turkey, a member of the NATO military alliance. It would mean that ISIS, which controls territory across the border in Syria and has networks of supporters here in Turkey, has officially declared war on this country. Now, Michael and Zane, Turkish officials have identified an apartment that the suspected bombers are believed to have rented in Istanbul's working-class conservative neighborhood of Fatih, which is just a few kilometers from where I'm standing as the crow flies. Now, we have had teams on the ground there, our own Nima Al-Bagir, talking to residents of that neighborhood, some of whom say that they have actually seen a photo showed to them by Turkish police of the men who appear to have rented that flat. A photo from a security camera in Istanbul's Atatürk airport showing the three men in these bulky coats on what we believe to be the night of the shooting. Now, one of the neighbors says that they complained the smell of chemicals coming from that apartment just days before the attack took place. Another neighbor saying that they saw people smoking by the window of the apartment, though the curtains were drawn most of the time there. So you can see how the authorities have moved very quickly to try to follow the footsteps of the believed suspects and suicide bombers. And of course, hard work to be done to figure out the network of possible supporters. There's no way these three men could have gotten to Turkey, rented an apartment, brought suicide vests and weapons here without some kind of support on the ground here in Turkey. Michael and Zane? Well, Turkey has already been a declared member of the anti-ISIS coalition, supporting U.S. warplanes flying from air bases here in Turkey across the border into Syria to strike ISIS. They've been shelling across the border at ISIS positions, as well as at positions controlled by Kurdish militias that are in fact allied with the U.S. So a very complicated and tangled network of alliances across the border in that awful civil war. ISIS has carried out numerous previous attacks here in Turkey. They've targeted foreign tourists here in Istanbul twice in the last, just this year alone. They've also carried out grisly bombings targeting leftists here in Turkey and ethnic Kurdish activists. But the attack here at Istanbul's Atatürk airport, that is seen much more as a direct attack against the Turkish state, the Turkish economy, and mainstream Turkish society. So this is possibly a pivotal turning point for Turkish popular psychology, a blow against all of Turkey. And if it's proved that these ISIS links are there, it means that ISIS will have effectively declared war against Turkey, a country that its activists, its agents were able to move around quite freely just a couple of years ago, before Turkey started cracking down on this terrorist organization. Michael and Zane. Hi, Brianna. Yeah, let's show you this photo. This is a screenshot from what appears to be surveillance video. And the reason why we feel confident about showing it is our teams have been on the ground in the neighborhood where the three suspected suicide bombers were believed to have rented an apartment. And some of the people, the neighbors, the real estate agency that rented out the apartment, they have confirmed to us that this was the photo that police showed them when they were asked to ID the suspected bombers, saying that that was in fact a photo of the three men. So the photo shows them in coats at the height of summer here in Istanbul, in the airport. What more do we know about them? Well, some of the neighbors there who've spoken to our teams, one of them described the smells of what smelled like chemicals coming from the apartment. Another neighbor saying that they saw people smoking by the windows of the apartment, but that the curtains were usually drawn there. And of course, the real estate agency confirming to us that these were in fact the men that were rented the apartment. The Turkish government saying that they believe to have come about a month ago from the ISIS stronghold city of Raqqa in Syria, and that they were believed to have brought their suicide belts, finally saying that they were believed to have been foreigners, a citizen from Russia, from the Dagestan, a troubled Dagestan region of Russia, and also from the Central Asian republics of Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. So we're starting to get a fuller picture of the men who carried out this atrocity. Brianna.